Before we begin this video, we want to share a small disclaimer. This video will contain brief information on slavery and cotton plantations. Although this brief section is controversial, there is an opportunity to skip this section should anyone wish to. A timestamp will be included in the description box below. Isidor and Ida Straus, the couple who never let go. On the 19th of April 1912, the Denver Post published an interview with Titanic survivor Emma Herbert, who told the newspaper a story about love, courage, and the couple who refused to take a seat in a lifeboat, only to remain by each other's side until the end. Mrs. Sherbert went on to describe how the woman refused to take a seat before she saw the couple standing near the rail with their arms around each other. In this video, we are going to be looking into this couple, whose names were Isidor and Ida Straus. Although they are famous in the Titanic story, there's more to the couple than previously thought, especially with their physical and emotional devotion. However, there have been a few dark sides to their story, especially near the end of their lives on board the RMS Titanic. Isidor was born on the 6th of February 1845 in the Rhineland-Palatinate. He was raised in a German Jewish household, being the eldest of 5 children. Isidor and his family emigrated to the United States in the mid-1850s, where they lived in Georgia. While living there, Isidor's father, Lazarus, rented a small store in Talbotton, which was the main center for cotton plantations. But despite being an opponent of the slave trade in the United States, Lazarus became the target of residents who had anti-Semitic views on him and his family. As a result, the family would move to Columbus to restart their lives and find different careers for Lazarus and his sons. Isidor would later become the co-founder of the infamous Macy's department store and had an extended and successful political career. He had been a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from New York's 15th District as a Democrat, and he was also the director of the Mutual Alliance Trust Company. Ida, or Rosaline Ida Berlin, as she was known in the family, was born in Germany on the same day as her husband, but in the year 1849. Ida, her parents and 6 siblings moved to the United States, and later on she would become a homemaker and advocate for health and education. The couple met through Ida's sister, Amanda, though the connection between them is unclear. It was love at first sight for the pair, and from day one their love was like the relationship portrayed in William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. It was documented by their family and friends that the couple were very public with their affection, and they were often seen holding hands, kissing and hugging, and at one point necking, which is a term for kissing on the neck, which often leads to love bites. The couple married in 1871, and during their 41-year marriage, they would spend a lot of time together. However, there were times when Isidor had to leave Ida and their 6 children and had to go away on business trips. When Isidor was away, the couple would often write to each other daily. In one letter from 1890, Ida wrote in dear affection, "Here is a good kiss for my dear papa." In the spring of 1912, the Strausses were spending their social season in Europe, lodging near the French Riviera, but mostly spent at Cape Martin in the south of France. The couple had plans to vacate in Southern California, but they had cancelled their original plans after the death of Isidor's business partner. After booking their passage home, the couple was supposed to travel on board the Titanic sister ship, the RMS Olympic. However, because the Olympic's voyage was delayed due to a coal strike, they were transferred to the Titanic instead. The couple boarded the ship in Southampton on the 10th of April, and they were joined by Ida's maid, Ellen Bird, and Isidor's manservant, John Farthing. The Strauses boarded as first-class passengers, and their cabin was located on C deck, where they stayed in cabins C55, 56, and 57. When they first arrived in their cabin, Ida would write a letter to a friend where she described Regency and Emperor-style suites with mahogany beds and white gilt panellings. What a ship! So huge and so magnificently appointed. Our rooms are furnished in the best of taste and the most luxuriously, and they are rooms, not cabins. On the night of the 14th of April, it was thought that Isidor and Ida dined together in the first-class dining saloon before taking a stroll arm in arm on the upper deck before retiring to their room. After the Titanic struck the iceberg, it was reported that in the early morning of the 15th, Isidor, Ida, Ellen Bird and John Farthing were on the port side of the ship. Just before 1 a.m., Second Officer Charles Lightoller, Chief Officer Henry Wilde, and Captain Edward J. Smith were reported to offer Isidor and Ida a seat in Lifeboat 8 together, mainly due to Isidor's age. However, Isidor refused to enter it, saying that there were women and children on board, and that he wouldn't leave the Titanic until all of them were off the ship. When she heard her husband's words, Ida immediately got out of the lifeboat. Despite pleas from passengers, including Archibald Gracie and her husband, she said to Isidor, "We have lived together for many years. Where you go, I go." Before the lifeboat was lowered, Ida handed some of her jewellery and her fur coat to Ellen, saying that she wouldn't be needing it anymore. Later in the sinking, Ida was approached by crew members who repeatedly attempted her into available lifeboats, but she reportedly remarked, "I will not be separated from my husband. As we have lived, so we will die together." Isidor and Ida were last seen sitting on deck chairs and holding hands. Ida's body was never found, but Isidor's body was recovered at sea. Isidor was brought back to New York City, where a memorial service for him and Ida was taking place. The memorial service took place on the 12th of May, where it received more than 6,000 people, including the mayor of New York. Today, a memorial of the couple can be seen at the Straus Park on Broadway at 106th Street, New York. Following the sinking, items belonging to Isidor returned to one of the couple's children, Sarah. One of the items was a gold locket with the initials IS, and it contained a picture of one of Sarah and another child called Jessie. However, one item that wasn't returned to the family was Ida's coat. The reason for this was because of Sarah, who thought that Ellen, her mother's maid, should keep it for herself as Ida had given the coat to her, and now it belongs to Ellen. As of 2024, there is no further information on what happened to the coat, but it is believed that it is still in the possession of Ellen's family and may be located somewhere like an attic. Sadly, the story of Isidor and Ida Straus hasn't aged well over the years, but this is mainly due to the background of Isidor's family, and the couple's story has been used in religious sermons to remind women how important it is for them to submit themselves to their husbands. However, if we look past them, we can see that their story is one of heroism and shows how love is more powerful than the universe itself. And, like it says on their memorial statue, their love is many waters that cannot quench love, neither can the floods drown it.